Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is about the fourth time that I'm starting this video over. I don't know. Today is weird, but the last few weeks have been weird. The last few days have been even weirder. I am Eva Darling. I haven't made one of these videos in a while. I really do want to get back into it at this point. For people that it'll be the first time tuning in, I am a loctician on the south side of Chicago. I am also a student for teacher education and cosmetology at Dudley Beauty School on the south side of Chicago as well. The reason I decided now of all times to get back into this would be the weather change. So something that most people don't know or even pay attention to because everybody is not in tune with their mental health or mental health in general. I understand that in our community, it is something that is, I noticed that more people have tuned in to it now. And more people are paying attention to this, self-care days, self-care moments, taking care of yourself in times of you feeling overwhelmed, seeking therapists. We have more Black therapists. We have Black therapists. Somebody sent me a list of all Black therapists. We have podcasts of Black therapy, things like that at this point. So I can see it's growing, and even with all these podcasts, I think it's super dope because these podcasts allow people to express issues, and we get to see these views. We get to understand people's point of view when we have these Black, because it's commonly amongst the group of Black men. I know one podcast I pay attention to is the Black man and Black woman. I also would want a group of like Black women to get together and make a podcast. I mean, I guess that would be something that I can. But I do, that it helps a lot too because it gets insight on the opposite sex. You get what I'm saying? Because all we know is what we feel and what we ultimately discuss amongst our friends, and even our friends that are of other genders. Sometimes they're not as transparent as they can be with us about why things may be going how they're going. However, I just got off topic that fast, but the reason I make this video is because of seasonal depression. With weather changing, with the sun going down sooner, you do have more moments of sadness, less going outside. I know there's people that just go outside religiously, but also, it's going to be some people that, stay in the house when it gets colder, or even if you have children, you can't just sit at the park sometimes, and Chicago's freezing temperatures, stuff like that. So sometimes that, that lack of fresh air, the lack of sunlight during these seasons has a huge effect on your mental health. I know for me, it has a huge effect on my mental health. It always has been. I will always say that fall into winter is always the rockiest time of the year outside of other unexpected events that may happen within the year. I will say that I'm far from my best at this moment. And it's so hard when you do pick up on it and you try to do all these things to keep you from falling into that black hole, into that black space. And then you realize that you're already there. So you're like fighting what has already commenced, ultimately. And that's something that I'm working on right now because I noticed that I've had a throbbing headache. My blood pressure was abnormal. I am literally just like winging it here, like on the emotional side. Sunday was rocky. Yesterday was rocky. I even had a moment in the shop in front of my clients. This is rare, you know what I'm saying, that I was tearful in the shop. It just felt like the weight of the world just was on me. You have a million different issues, and it's easier to live with the issues, but more stressful because it's hard and stressful, and a lot of accountability goes into fixing the issues once you have acknowledged them Usually at moments like these, I may fall into a space of suicidal thoughts, self-harm, or those type of things. This morning, I decided to go to therapy. I decided I needed therapy. I decided my thoughts weren't where I wanted them to be, and I need them to be. I went to therapy. And, you know, it's not that I don't know what I need to do, but accountability partners are something that you need in life. Um, and that's one thing that therapy also helps with. That's one thing therapists help with. They can be your accountability partner. They can let you know, like, well, even at this point, you said you were going to do this, that, and the other. And one of my hugest issues and one of my biggest issues have been for years, since forever, since the beginning of, since I can always remember, will be boundaries. I have a huge problem with setting boundaries. The problem with boundaries is that when you decide in life that you want to set boundaries, you may be at my big age, I'm 29 years old at this point, that I want to set boundaries. If those boundaries don't fit what you have done for the past 29 years, or I guess 10, 11 years, once you have become an adult, once you gained adult friendships, once then it's a chance of you losing people that have been around all this time, and then we have to take additional steps. So not only do I have to realize what I want, what I need, not only do I have to set these boundaries, but I also have to mourn and I have to grieve the friendships and relationships that I will lose behind setting boundaries. And that is tough for me. The idea of the people that I have grown to love, or, friends that you've grown to love, so like that. Friends that, they don't mean you, like, and I know, like, their intent may not ever be to hurt you, and their intent may not ever be to cross you in that sense. However, you do have to set that boundary at times to let them know that, this is no longer acceptable. And a lot of times those people are going to choose to exit your life or contribute to that same behavior, and you're going to have to exit theirs, and that is when mourning and bereavement comes into play. I will say, though, because I didn't want to make this a lengthy video, but the thing about seasonal depression is that people are unaware of it. So some things that, you could pay attention to yourself, pay attention to others. It may be the consistent feeling of tiredness. Even when I did sleep, I slept the day away and I'm still exhausted, I'm still tired. Lack of motivation, losing faith, no longer finding joy in things that you found joy in, which, your peace or this, that, and the other. Crabbiness, combativeness. These are all things, these are all signs that you may be in a depressed state. And right now, also with inflation, with the cost of living, it's really a struggle in society right now to even, fight off these battles. I never, I heard my mom say all this time, if it ain't one thing, it's the next, and baby, if it ain't one thing, it's the next. So, I would just say at this time, everybody should really love on themselves and love on people if you can. Don't overextend yourself, because a lot of times we are in these depressive states and we try to help others, and then we're expecting the same thing, and everybody's situation looks different. So everyone can't show up for each other how everyone shows up for each other, if that makes sense. And it doesn't mean they don't care. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It's just that everyone has to digest everything differently. And we also have to be mindful of that. And another reason I went to therapy is because I was ultimately looking for everyone to cradle me And that'll be my form of healing instead of healing myself. You get what I'm saying? I know how to put a bandage on. Like, just like I as everyone can say, I got a new piercing. I knew how to tend to this piercing, to put the antiseptic on, to make sure I'm washing out the this and the other. And that's how you take care of yourself. I know how to clean out those wounds so they can heal properly. And therapy will be the first step. So this would be the first time in life that I would actually try to stay consistent with therapy. Because I don't normally stay consistent. I feel like, okay, I'm better. I won't show up anymore. And then I end up at a spot where I'm making an emergency therapist appointment because I feel I'm drowning. So, if people do want to continue to tune in, I will try to stay, once again, consistent with the YouTube channel as well. Because I realized that this was one outlet that did help. And I was able to get up and I was able to do this today. Because the last few months, I felt like I had lost all my motivation to do anything outside of getting Ivy to school. And really, that has been a struggle I've had helping that area and get into the shop to do hair, to tend to my clients. You know, because at the same time, I understand, like, how life works. And sometimes that day where you come in and you get your hair done, like, there's even days I got a haircut and that made me feel 20 times better. And sometimes that might be the pull up or the lift up that you may need. And I do keep that in mind, you know, when I'm having the rocky days. And then when I do have the rocky days and I go in the salon, it is therapeutic, but I do have to go home at night. And then that's when everything sits in. And at these moments when I have that one-off day from work and this, that, and the other, then I realize that I need more help than temporary laughter. So that's basically my rant for today. I will try to keep my mental health Mondays going. Because initially it was Wednesdays, so I'll switch it to Mondays because Mondays will be my only day off as of right now, but I do have class on Mondays. So it'll be like around evening or so that I'm posting videos if I don't make them early in the morning. But happy Monday. In the most sensitive way, check on your people and check on yourself.